morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to this session. I'm going to allow about another minute. I see a bunch of people logging on. We went a little bit long on the last session, but great information. So I'm going to wait just a minute here, let some other people get in. So hope that this morning has been good for everyone. We've had a lot of information. As Jody said, you know, it's like a little bit of I've never done speed dating, but from what I understand, it's a little bit like speed dating. So, but we wanted to make sure that there's the features that are in Sage that you all understand what's there, and maybe you're not using it a lot. You know, everything is, you have it, and just you know, we can help you use it if you want to do that. So it looks like I think it looks like everybody's here now. So my name's Annette Manius, president of Oasis Solutions, and we are going to look at custom office during this session. So this is one of the things in Sage that I just love. So I get a little bit passionate about it. And I hope you all will too, because there's so much potential and everyone has this module. So what we're going to look at is, what is custom office? How do companies use custom office? And then I'm going to log into Sage 100 and I'm going to show you all some examples. And then I decided a little bit ago that I'm going to kind of go out on a limb. You don't normally do this during live presentations, but I'm going to set up a field and show you all how it's done, so you can get a little glimpse of what it looks like. It's something that we can teach you to do, or we can do it ourselves for you. So what is custom office? It is a lot of things. For one, it's a module you already own. So it's something that you can use. And then you can do a lot of things with it. So you can add fields to the screens. You can take fields away. You can make fields the default. You can make fields required. So if you had a field on your screen that you wanted to be required, like, you know, I can't think of an example, email address. That's one that one of our customers said they want to have it required on an order that they enter an email address. You can change screen labels. So if it says, you know, customer on it and you want to say client, you could do that. You can change the fonts on screens as well. You can change the tab sequence. So, you know, when you're on a screen and you click your tab key, it goes to the certain next fields. So you can change that sequence if it makes sense for you. So you could do that as well. We can add fields, which I'm going to show you that, and also tables behind the fields. So, which is a little bit more advanced, but we've done a lot of that for customers. The nice thing about this too is you can customize these screens by user and or group and by company. So it makes it really flexible. And then you can also add buttons to launch other tasks while you're inside of Sage 100. So if you had another, you know, let's say you wanted to launch Excel from within Sage 100, you could do that. Or if you had another system, some of our customers have very specific systems they might use for invoicing to their customers. And they use Sage for the accounting piece of it. And so you could have a button that launches that other system. So again, these are just a few of the things that you can do. It's just the list is, it's almost endless, really. So the nice thing about this too is the custom office fields convert automatically with an upgrade. There's no rewriting of them. So what's exciting about that for us and for you all is that it used to be, if you wanted something different inside Sage 100, you'd have to do what we call hard coding. So that means every time you upgrade, we have to rewrite it or do something with it. So with custom office, we're able to, instead of doing that hard coding, we can do other things, custom fields and scripting and things that just kind of go along with it in an upgrade. So over the years, Sage has put a lot of capability in this custom office, and we have been able to take some things that we did hard coding for customers and convert them to custom office and to scripting and things. So again, it's great, great for the customer, great for you all, because it's easier and more cost effective. So there's lots of reasons that people use custom office. Most of the time, it's because they're performing tasks outside of Sage 100 that they want to bring into the system. And I'm going to show you an example of that in a second. You might be doing calculations outside the system that you want to bring into the system. So custom office would let you do that. So you might say, I have two fields that I want to calculate, and then I do something with that sum. Custom office allows you to do that. So there's a lot of different, we've seen some really, really creative ways that people have used this or have asked us to help them with it. So, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it, but, we have helped customers do things with custom office that has allowed them to not have to, maybe reposition a person that's there, or maybe not have to hire someone new, because it makes the system more efficient. So it's helpful. So it's a couple of examples. We have a customer who has a very complex pricing scheme based on the type of customer, which is very, Sage does that, but not to the degree that they do it. So we're able to set up some tables behind the scenes in custom office that hold that pricing structure. We then added fields on the sales order screens to bring in that data and then calculate those prices based on the type of customer and then the product that customer buys. It's really complex. We did, I think we did a really good job helping them to make that happen. And I'll tell you, in their old system, so this is a new customer, but in their old system, it had to be hard coded. So they had not upgraded in several years on that old system because everything would have had to have been rewritten. Well, when we did it inside Sage, we did it with custom office and just all the tools that are there with Sage. So when they do an upgrade, it'll just go along with it. So, the goal is for you to always be on the most current version so you can get all those features. So this helps that. We have another customer that was using paper copies for delivery tickets. And this is the one I'm going to show you. But with custom office, we added a panel and fields that are filled out to instruct the delivery drivers. So when I add fields onto the screens, those fields are just like fields that are in Sage. So I can use them on forms, I can use them on reports, I can do queries on them. They become just like another field in the system. So it's really interesting how that can help make things more efficient. So I'm going to log into, actually I'm already logged in, but I'm going to show you all a couple things that I just set up. So I can't show you other customer systems, but I'm going to show you a couple of things that I did. So if I go into sales order entry, this is the one where we set up a delivery ticket system for the customer. So typically when I go into sales order entry, and remember when I'm doing this, I'm just showing you just these modules, but this applies to every single thing you have in Sage 100. You can do this. So I'm going to open up an order. So typically on an order, I have 5 tabs across the top. What I did with custom office, and it took me about 2 minutes, is I added this 6th tab for delivery. And then on that tab, I added various fields. So when I added the tab, it's just blank. And then I can add fields onto this tab, just drag and drop it onto this tab. And then those fields become, like I said, fields that are in the system, and you just use them on forms. So what they did is they created a delivery form. And and they would fill this out and then send to the guys that are going to deliver the product, and it tells them step by step everything. Now their field or their tab is for their actual business is filled here, but I just added a few things on. So I wanted to give you some examples of the things, the types of fields. So here's like a date field, and when you create the field, you tell it what it is. And then here's a text field. This is also a text field here. You see this one's a checkbox. So, and then this one is a drop down where I can add any kind of information to it that I want. This can be anything that you want. And then here's a notes section. And again, when I set up this field on the notes, for example, I told it how big I wanted that to be. So, you know, it could be the whole screen if you want it to be. I've seen that where people have notes that are almost the whole screen. So those are the different types of fields that you can have. And then, you know, for this scenario, this particular scenario, this wouldn't apply, but you could have those fields follow this order along into like invoicing history and all that. So if they wanted to go back on a something that was already invoiced and you know, maybe reprint the delivery ticket, they could. So they could do that. We could tell it to follow along into history. So extremely flexible. So it's, I've seen people really take a lot of advantage of this module and be able to make things more efficient for themselves. Another example that I did that's really easy, quick, I'll show you on a customer. So I just added this field called customer type and did just a drop down. So this is just a drop down. It can be whatever I want it to be. So I would choose what I want there. So this is a good, better, best customer. You know, some people do ABC, you know, that type of thing. So you could do that. But again, you have control over what you want that to be. And then if I did a list and I wanted to put in that list what type of customer it is, I could do that as well. So you'll see here when I do my lookup on my customers, I added that field to the lookup. I think we looked at that earlier, and then it shows me, and then I can sort by it. And again, it's just like any other field inside Sage. I can sort by that. So anything that you, you know, feel like would make it more efficient. And, you know, I just remembered, I'm going to go back to the sales order entry. I forgot to show you all one other thing on here real quick, because this is a really good, easy thing too. So on the sales order here, what I did is this is the standard field that's in Sage. So if you opened up a sales order, if you use sales orders, you're going to see this field says email. Well, all I did was I just made it red so that you can see it. I could make it required. I can make it, you know, whatever. I can do my tab sequence to it. And then I added another field here that said, like, this is the email that comes from the customer, but we had a customer that said, well, you know, we want, let's say that, you know, the person that's ordering this, really, we don't want to add them to the customer. It's just a one-time order. You could put the order email on there. And then I just turned it green. So again, you can make that where they have to put that in or default, you know, that type of thing too. So that's just an example of that. And like I said, you can, these are called labels, all of these. You can change those labels. You can take these fields off the screens and customize the screens the way that you want them. So I'm going to go out on a little limb here, and hopefully this will work. But down at the bottom on your modules is where you're going to find Custom Office. And again, you all have this module. And the first thing I want to do is create a field. So I'm going to do user defined field and table maintenance. And the first thing I have to do is I have to know where I'm going to put that field. So I already have some recent things that I did down here, but you can see each module would open up and it would tell you, you'd have a list. So that might be a little tricky for some people, but again, we can help you with that. But I'm going to do my sales order header, and I'm going to do edit field. And it's going to open this up and ask me, so here's the fields that I've already put on. Over on the right, I'm going to say new, and I'm going to put on lift gate. And again, there's a lot of different options here that I'm not going to go into, but if I do okay, then it asks me what type of field is this? Is it a multi-line text box? Is it a drop-down list or a checkbox? I showed you that checkbox. Is it numeric? Is it a date, or is it just text? And then what's the size of that? What does that look like in size? So I'm going to do that as a checkbox. So you'll see what it does. There's other screens here. So if I had chosen drop down or list, I'd be able to list things here. And then data sources. If I wanted that to flow over to history, I would choose that. So I set that up. I'm going to do okay, and I'll do an update. Again, you can't do this when people are in the system, obviously, because you're adding a field to the system. So you'd have to wait until they're out. But it'll update. And then once I have my field on updated, then I'm going to ask, or I'm going to add it to the screen. So it updates all the different places that it needs to be, depending on the items or the options I chose. Okay, so it is finished. So my field is there. So now I need to do something with that field. So I can close that box. So up here on the top, still I'm under custom office, I have customizer selection, and that lets me open up the screen. Whoops, sorry. I clicked it too many times. We've all done that. So I can open up the screen where I want to put that. So I already have a customized panel there. So I'm going to say sales order entry, and then I'm going to do just that one company and my name. And I want to put it on that delivery panel. So I just did a right click, and I'm going to go to that panel. And it's going to open up those fields that I showed you all. Over on the left, I just say add a field. I draw my box, and I tell it which field I want to put on there. And there it is. So now that I had the field on there, I can move it around and do whatever I want to with it. I can make it red. I can make it required. I can do whatever I want to with it. So now that field will be on that screen. So pretty easy, but that's a pretty simple example of that. The nice thing about this too, because I did this the other day, I was practicing on this and I thought, oh man, I messed that up. And so over on the left-hand side, you'll see under the tools, you can just reset the screen. So it's not like if you do this and you mess it up, you're stuck with it, because you can reset the screen and it'll reset it back to factory defaults. So, or if you messed it up, just say, no, I don't want to save that. And, but what I did the other day, I don't remember what I was doing, but I did something and I saved it and I thought, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. So I just went back and reset the screen. So it's really easy, but this is an extremely powerful tool that, you know, I'm hoping that I got you all kind of thinking about some of the things that you might do outside the system, or even not outside the system, but just that you think would make it more efficient for you to do inside the system. This option allows you that choice. So Falana, I am good to go if you want to spin. Do we have any questions? I forgot to ask that. Does anybody have any questions? No. Okay, Falana.
I'm sitting here on mute talking, so I'm so glad I didn't interrupt
We
you
all
there.
do it.
I was ready to roll. Let me start and share my screen here, and we'll see who wins today. Okay, let's spin this wheel. And our winner is Lonnie J, which it looks like is with, hold on. Did I do a typo here? Is there a Lonnie J on here? Anybody in the chat? Moving forward. Okay. Is there a Lonnie present? I'm with Radio Sound. Okay, I was looking really fast. Thank you, Lonnie, for clarifying. I was scrolling through. I didn't want to put everybody's full names and companies on there. So thank you so much, Lonnie. I will get your $25 Amazon gift card to you. So congratulations, and thanks everyone for attending today.